it's time for some good vibes, and hoping to bring them to us is Peter Switzer, the founder of the Switzer Report. Hello, Pete. Thanks for joining us as always. This coronavirus seems to be getting worse now. The World Health Organization is declaring it a huge international problem. It's right at the top of the list, which is probably about time. But from a business sense, how much of a hit, an extra hit, could this have?
Yeah, I guess the question is, will this ultimately affect economic growth in China? And the interesting development is a lot of Chinese companies are basically stopping production because they don't want the disease to spread. Now, that's kind of the unexpected consequences of this, this social virus. And that's starting to raise question marks for the stock market. We talk about black swan events, guys, and a black swan event is something that you don't expect. And when you talked to me last week, when we looked at what WHO was saying and what the US Centre for Diseases was saying, they were sort of downplaying it. But as the weeks progress, we know it's getting more serious, and therefore the stock market is getting a lot more nervous. And when there's uncertainty, what's happening in the stock market is they sell off, and that's what we're starting to see.
I guess one of the upsides for this, Peter, is that China really has the ability to get in quickly and stimulate its economy. I mean, one of the examples might be, and this is more of a health measure than it is an economic one, or perhaps it's both, is that they're building a 1,000-bed hospital in Wuhan, and it's going to be done in 4 days. That is extraordinary.
Yeah, exactly right. They can do the kind of infrastructure that usually takes us 2 years. But, on the same point, I guess some people question the calibre of the safety standards and all that sort of stuff. But I think you're right. If there's a country in the world that can re-stimulate to get their economy going, it is China. But the thing is this, we just don't know how long this is going to go on for. And the longer it goes on, the higher the level of uncertainty and the more likely that stocks will sell off. Because remember, most stock markets around the world have been priced to perfection on the basis that the global economy was on the improve. We got US numbers overnight. US economic growth for 2019 came at 2.1%. Now, that's not a good number for the US. It's better than Australia, we're 1.7%. But the expectation was things were really on the improve because the trade deal news has been positive. The world economy was going to grow, but now you've got this curveball. What will the coronavirus do to world economic growth? And considering China is the most powerful force in world growth, this is a big question mark.
I don't quite get that story about China building a hospital in 4 or 5 days, because doesn't it? I was always told that it takes a long time for concrete to set.
Prefabricated. I've looked into this. It's all pre-done, so they come in and sorry. No. I'm fascinated by this story. So, Pete,
your building report.
Both Peters, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's prefabricated, so it's all done off-site, and then it's kind of come and put together like a big
doesn't
Lego.
Sound like there's a very good foundation there, but anyway,
is that right,
speaking
Pete?
of strong foundations.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And Pete, when you do your next renovation, get Laura to be your project manager.
Yeah,
obviously, that's what she's talking about.
Good one. All right, Pete, we've run out of time, unfortunately. But
it was me talking about Lego.
Yeah, we morphed into a building report there, but that's okay. Maybe that's a good idea. We can do a Friday segment on building. Peter Switzer,
Great to
as
see you.
always, great to get your company.